and welcome to episode 107 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. How have you been, guys? So it's been, I think, just over 2 weeks since I last recorded, which is not too bad. I know it was almost near the end of the month in August, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try and record by the end of the month, and then I realized that was like 6 days later. That wasn't going to happen. But we are halfway through September, and I feel like I've had a really productive 2.5 weeks. I have a whole pile of stuff to share with you, and I had it all on the table in front of me. I just put Kira down for a nap, and I was like, okay, we need to go, because she can go anywhere from a 30-minute nap to an hour-and-a-half long nap. I have no idea how much time I have. So I was like, okay, let's go. She's sleeping. I had everything on the table, ready to go, and then who jumped up on the table but Mr. T, of course, and did he not situate himself right in the middle of the pile to get all comfy? So that was the whole thing. It took me 5 minutes. I had to move everything off. There's stuff on the floor now. I had to get his little blankie and put that on the table so that he'd have a place to lie down. I think I've got everything organized now, but we will see. So yeah, before I get into that, how have you guys been? So last time I chatted with you, it was before school was starting, and I said how our local schools had given us the option to either send our kids in or keep them home, and then there was different points that we could kind of switch back and forth if we wanted to, and we were going with sending Avery in. So there was a delayed start. Her grade group started yesterday, so yesterday was the first day of school for her. I posted a picture on Instagram of her all ready to go, and thank you if you were one of the people who commented wishing her a good first day. Thank you so much. I had no idea how it was going to go. I was like, either she's going to get off that bus at the end of the day and just be miserable because of just all the changes. There's a lot of protocols going on in the classroom. We didn't know who her teacher was. We didn't know who was going to be in her class with her. Because of safety, they're really kind of keeping the class cohorts together. There's not going to be a lot of mingling between classes, and so I was just really hoping it was going to be a group that she liked, and that, you know, the teacher was going to be someone she liked, because I could just see her coming home going, I hated it, and I don't want to go back. Luckily, she got off the bus in a really good mood, and so far it seems like, everything considered, things have kind of aligned in the most positive way that they could. A lot of her friends are in her class. It's mostly people she knows. She's in a 4-5 split. She's in grade 4, but she's in a 4-5 split with mostly 4s and then a few 5s, so it's mostly people she knows. The teacher is someone that we're not familiar with. She was newer last year, but she says she seems really nice, so hopefully that works out. And then, yeah, so everything, she came home in a good mood. That's all I can ask for. She wanted to go back to school today. So fingers crossed that things continue, and fingers crossed that she is able to stay in school for at least a little while, because she really, 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 really needs this. She's been home alone without really socializing with her own age group for way too long. So if your kids are also back to school, please let me know how that is going. I hope it is also going just as well. And if you're homeschooling them, I hope that is also going well, because I know that would be a struggle if we had gone that route personally. So yes, I've had a really productive few weeks, I think. I have a lot to share with you. What do I have? We are going to do the winner for August. I don't want to forget about that. I have finished objects. I think I have 2 finished objects plus progress on something that's ongoing. And then I also have been working on a whole bunch of things. I have at least 2 new cast-ons plus progress on an older project. I don't think I'm going to do any updates. I'm going to save that for the next episode and do my bingo update. I might have a little video for you at the end. I'll have to see how long this goes and if I can squeeze that in. Kira started eating cereal recently, and that's been fun. She is absolutely loving that. So I have a couple of videos of her first time trying it and kind of second, third time. I might try and squish that together and put just a little clip at the end, because, you know, it's so cute. But yes, let's get straight into the monthly winner, and then I will start with the projects that I have finished. So if you are new to my channel, every month I look at the comments made on my videos in a given month, as well as any item purchased from my shop in a given month, and each comment and each item purchased counts as an entry. I pull from those entries and I draw a winner to get a $20 coupon to my shop. It is my way of thanking you for engaging in my channel and just, yeah, supporting me overall. I am so appreciative of that. So the winner for August was Linda Shaw, and I know you have been a long time viewer. You comment pretty frequently. I think you comment on almost every video. But yes, you are the winner for August. Congratulations. I know you know how to get a hold of me, and I will set up that coupon for you. So let's get started with my first finished object, which is as usual going to be my monthly socks. So my August Desert Vista Dye Work socks. I don't remember where I was when I showed these to you last month. I know there was only about 6 days left. I have a feeling I was working on the second sock, but I wasn't very far in. I might have to check on that. I don't know. But regardless, I was able to finish them. I do believe I finished them on the last day, but it wasn't like a late night finish, which is good. So these are them here. These I knit for myself, so they are just my basic vanilla pattern. If you want more details on what my vanilla pattern is, I did go pretty in depth in the previous episode. But for myself, I like to start with 81 stitches. I do a 2x1 rib. I do just plain vanilla for the leg and the foot. I do what I call kind of a triangular shaped heel with reverse stocking net there. I decrease some extra stitches out around here, and I go down to about 70 stitches for the foot. I also did the thing with these that I like to do where after the first sock, I rewind the cake so that the stripes are going in the opposite direction. I just think that's fun. So I did do that. I made sure that they started both at that teal stripe at the top, but then you can see how the stripes are going in the reverse order. So these are for myself, and I just love these colors. I think they're so bright and happy. I love how they coordinate together. I think this colorway is called My Favorite Possession, and yeah, absolutely would recommend. This was a fun knit. The next finished object that I have to share with you is the little sweater that I was working on for Kira. So I've been kind of wanting to make something like this for the last little while with a contrast top and then a different colored body. And I had shown you the pattern Pearls on a String, and then the last episode I talked about how I kind of used that idea, but I used a pattern that I had in my collection called Conscious to kind of give that same effect, but with a pattern that I already had. And I was on I think I had finished the yoke when I showed it to you last time, and I was working on the body, and I just got a good couple of evenings to work on this, and I actually finished this at least a week or so ago. So not that long after I shared it with you, I finished this little sweater, and I think it is so cute. It's obviously going to be too big for her. I will insert some pictures in a minute of her wearing it as is, but she is going to have to grow into it. But that was kind of the intention. So I did the size, the 12 to 18 month size, but I made some adjustments so that she might be able to wear it sooner than that. But yeah, so here you can see this up here was done with some Die Hard Fiber Arts. It's a really nice kind of pale lavender. I explained in the last episode how instead of doing bubbles, I did a wrap stitch to kind of mimic the look of bubbles. And then down here, I believe this is a Hedgehog DK skein that I got in a mystery bag. It did not have a label on it. Like in my stash, it didn't have a label. It did come with a label, but I had caked it already, and so I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure it is a Hedgehog DK skein. So here it is finished. I think it looks really cute. I love the colors. I also mentioned last time how even though I knit this as a button band, because the neck is it's wide enough to go over her head and it's pretty stretchy, I decided to just kind of stitch that close and add the buttons on as an accent. They are not functional buttons. And then one of the things I did to make it, to kind of adjust it for her size now, is I did not knit the sleeves to the length of the pattern. If I had knit the sleeves to the length for the 12 to 18 month size, they would have been way too long for her, like, they'd be way too long for too long of a time for her to really get to use it. So I decided to knit the sleeve up to this point. So up to here, it is the length of her arm currently. And then I did a long garter hem. So if she wears this now, it kind of goes right down to her hand. Like, it's still a bit long on her, but it goes to her hand. And then as she grows, I can unfold this, and then it's just a regular cuff, and it will last a little bit longer. I also mentioned last time how I wasn't sure how much of this main color I was going to have, and I thought the sweater might end up being a little bit cropped because the amount of yardage the pattern said I needed and what I had was a little less than that. But I think it's going to be fine. So I was able to get a good length on the body. I did another wide hem, and then I do have some of both yarns left. So I'm going to save this because what I'm thinking is if let's just say she gets really good use out of this sweater and she kind of outgrows the length of the arms or the body at some point before, like, I don't think she's going to outgrow the width, but let's just say she outgrows certain parts of it, and I was like, oh, I think she could still wear this if, you know, either the sleeves were a little longer or if the body was a little longer. I'm going to keep these because it would be very easy to either kind of rip back this or maybe do a little surgery and add some length there, or do the same thing for the hem, you know, do some surgery and just add a little length there. So I am going to keep the yarn, but overall I think it ended up really, really cute. I think the colors are going to go well with some of the stuff she has. She has these really cute little pair of jeans that I think will work. It'll just be a nice layering piece. We are not quite at the weather yet that she needs to be wearing a sweater, which is why I made it a little bit bigger. Though, oh my goodness, where did summer go? Because here, I remember my aunt came over on August 31st, I think, 30th or 31st, to have a pool day with Avery. And it was blazing hot. They were outside swimming all day, and I remember going out there, and it was just blazing hot in the sun. And September came, and boom, we were like in fall mode. It's been really cold in the mornings. It's been much cooler throughout the day. Today it's going up to kind of a warmer temperature in the afternoon, but like there was no transitional weather. Usually you get some summer weather kind of well into September before it really starts to cool down, and that just did not happen. It is just fall. So she might be able to wear, I don't think she'll be able to wear this before like we're in deep winter. It is big on her right now, but I mean, she's 5 months old and I made a 12 to 18 month size, so I have to expect that it's going to be a little bit big on her. But the sizes she wears currently are bigger than her age, so who knows. It's so hard to know with babies and kids how they are going to grow. I just decided to err on the side of caution and make it a little bit bigger because she is a bit of a chunky monkey. The next thing that I was able to work on is my Cozy Memories blanket. I was able to catch up on the fingering weight yarns that I've used in current projects, and I've added a few squares since I last showed it to you. So here we have the next row that I've started. These were my August socks. I've got my July socks. This was the accent for the July socks. I forget if I might have had this square already in when I showed it to you, because I know when I started working on this one, my automatic instinct was to join here and this edge here and keep going in a row. But then I remembered that my plan was to do a smaller block. So if you haven't seen this project before, it's the blanket I'm making for Avery using just all my fingering weight kind of scraps. And every time I finish kind of a blocked area, at the end of the year, I will outline it in black here and then start the new block so that as time goes and as it grows, I can kind of see there's a very visual representation on how much I was able to add per year. And going into this year, I knew my knitting time was going to be limited, and I kind of thought I wasn't going to be able to get as many squares added as in previous years. So when I started with January over here, I knew I wasn't going to be going like all the way across the row, because I might either just get that row done or not even finish the row. So my plan was to work along the row to a certain point and then start working up and then start working back and maybe just get a little rectangular block. Well, I think at the beginning of the year, my plan was to work 6 squares before going up. And that would have brought us to this square here before going up. And as you can see, I added another square because I think I totally forgot that plan. So after I did this one, that's when I remembered. And so now I've moved up. I've gone up one, and now I'm working my way back to the start of this row. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to that start of the row by the end of this year. I don't think I'll be able to go up another one and fill out another row. It's hard to say. I have been getting a little bit more knitting time now that Kira is having, you know, some pretty good naps. And now with Avery back in school, I might have a little bit more time. I have no idea. But my guess is that I'm just going to be able to finish that second row, and then that is going to be it for this year. The last finished object type thing that I'm going to share with you before we get into my works in progress is some sewing. So not yet for the shop. I don't have a shop update just yet, but I'm really hoping to get that soon. I have a whole pile of bags. I've been working on them, but some days, you know, yesterday I sat down and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get some sewing done. I'm going to work on some bags. I think I got 2 seams done, and that's all that happened yesterday. So it's just, things take longer now than they used to. But I do have some sewing that I finished because I had to prepare for Avery going back to school. So one of the requirements for her grade, I think from kindergarten to grade 3, masks are optional but encouraged, but grade 4 and up, they are mandatory. So I knew she was going to need like a mask wardrobe, at least one for every day, enough to have, you know, an extra one at school, an extra one in her backpack, and then, you know, enough, yeah, just enough. She needed some masks. So I've been kind of playing around over the summer because we did need them for going out. Like if she went shopping with me, she'd need one. So I've been kind of playing around with patterns and fitting, and I kind of landed on something that I was happy with. So this past week I just kind of whipped out a whole bunch. And the nice thing is that with the bags that I make, usually I buy half-yard pieces of fabric just because I like to change up fabrics a lot. I don't like making like 50 bags out of one print. And so I tend to buy half-yard pieces. And once I cut the sizes out for the bags that I do, there's always a little piece left. And sometimes I make needle cozies with that. Sometimes I make notion pouches. But they are the perfect size to make masks. So my bins and bins and bins and bins of scrap fabrics that I have, it's like a capsule bag memory type thing going on because it's prints that I've been using over the years, but all those little pieces are the perfect size to make masks with. So I went through all my bins of scrap fabrics and I pulled out all the prints that had cats on them, because if you know Avery, she loves cats, and I knew that she was going to want just a full wardrobe of cat masks, and I made her just this nice little pile. So I have a whole bunch with just all different prints, and I've kind of modified the pattern that I've been using so that there's a little nose pleat, there's a chin pleat, side pleats. I find it just fits her really well. I think it would be it's just a good children's size. I also have these little comfortable straps with the adjustments. So these just work really well for her. So I have a whole plethora of cat prints. So we've got that one. I've got some rainbow cats because she loves rainbows and cats. We've got that one, another rainbow cat print. She had a purple catacorn one that she wore yesterday. She's wearing a rainbow catacorn one today. I think there's still a couple of prints that I have that I can make a few more. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Like when I've been getting sewing done lately, it's been to just make her a whole bunch of masks. And because I have so many prints that are the perfect, like the scraps I have are the perfect size, I've decided I am going to group them up into kind of themed groups and put those as made to order listings in the shop. Just in case anybody is still interested or still needs masks, I have an adult size that I can do. I have a kid size that I can do. I think I'm going to put some holiday prints up, like, you know, Halloween type prints. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. You know, if you've got to wear them, they may as well be kind of fun and cute. The one that I wear out is my Friends, the fabric that I made custom for Friends print. So that's the one that I wear out. It just makes me happy. So yeah, instead of making a whole bunch, I've decided to do some fabric listings that I've grouped together that are made to order. So if that is something that you've been looking for, I'll try and get that done today or tomorrow, but that should be up in the shop. And then hopefully, definitely hopefully within the next week or so, I'm hoping to get my update up because I have so many cute prints that I've been working on, and I have yarn that I need to dye, and it's just, I want to get this done, but time is just a thing right now. So now we're going to move into my works in progress, and I think I have 3 projects to share with you, which is really exciting. Like I said, I've had a productive couple of weeks. So the first one, of course, is going to be my September Desert Vista Dyework socks. I think I cast these on maybe the 2nd day of September. Sometimes I don't get to start them right away. And this is the skein that I chose here. This is called If They Kill Carl. It's one of Susan's, it's from the line that she does where it's based on the characters from The Walking Dead. I don't watch that show. Zombies are not my thing. But I really like the colors that she does with the zombie stripe. I find I'm really attracted to them. I've purchased a few of those, and I thought that this color combination would work really well as brother socks. So because I only have one more pair of brother socks to make before the end of the year, I've finished my other 2 brothers socks earlier this year. I thought, let's get these cast on for September. That way they're done and I don't have to worry about them. So here is what I have so far. And this is still my first sock. It is the middle of the month. I think it's the 16th. Yeah, it's the 16th. I really try and have that first sock done, or at least almost done, by the middle of the month. And I'm probably about maybe a little bit more than halfway done, but still, I would prefer to be further along. So yeah, this is how the colorway is knitting up. These are for my brother, so I did 72 stitch cast on. I still did a 2x1 rib. I just really like how that rib looks. I like how it fits. This striping pattern was a little bit, I don't want to say harder because it's not trickier, but usually with Susan's colorways, they range from, you know, maybe a 4, a 6, or an 8 color repeat. And I normally will do the cuff for 1 repeat, the leg up until the heel increases as another repeat, and then I'll just keep going. And this is a 2 striper, so like there really isn't a block that's like a repeat. So yeah, I think I did 7 stripes. I just kind of went by, you know, the look of the length of the cuff. I like socks. I know I like socks to have a wider cuff. I just find they fit really nicely. So I was just knitting, and I think around 7 stripes I decided that that was a good length for the cuff. I went from the speckled stripe to another speckled stripe, and then I started the leg on a blue stripe, and then I ended, I think I did another 7 stripes before I started the increases for the heel there. So another thing with this only being a 2 striper though is it's not as exciting to knit. With the other colors, it's just to see all those stripes change and then to get back to the beginning of the repeat, you just feel like you've made a lot of progress. And this one, because it's just the 2 stripes, I'm finding it harder to knit on or want to knit on because it's just not exciting. I do think it's a pretty colorway. I do think that they're really going to suit my brother. I think he's going to like these. But yeah, it's just not as fun to knit on as another colorway would be. So I'm finding it hard to sit down and just like make myself work on them. But I need to do that because I'm not dropping out in September. I'm so close to making it through the end of the year. And also, if I finish September, I've done another 3-month block, so I will get another 30% coupon prize. So these need to get done. So I've been trying the last couple of days to focus on these a little bit more. I know I'm almost at the stitch count here where I can turn the heel and start working the decreases and get back to the original stitch count. And I find once I'm on the foot, I can do a foot in a day if I have the time. So the foot tends to go fairly quickly. So if I can just get these heel increases done and get those decreases done, it should only be a day or 2 before I finish the first sock, and then I'll just have to really focus on that second sock. So this is my progress for September socks, and while I am enjoying them in terms of like, yeah, I think they're cute, they're not as exciting as my other colorways. So now let's move on to a new cast on. And I know this project is the reason why I haven't been spending as much time on those socks as I should be. This has just been it's been a really easy project to pick up, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's been a fast knit, like it's moving quickly. And so whenever I have a little bit of time in the evenings, I'm finding that this is the project that I'm picking up instead of those socks. So this is my new cast on, and it is the sweater that I've been talking about that I've been wanting to cast on for my friend who recently, I think in May, got a new nephew, and she asked me if I could make a sweater as a gift that she could give him for Christmas. So we were kind of going back and forth about the sizing because he is also a little bit of a chunky monkey and he is wearing a much bigger size. So I was hoping to start the sweater over the summer, but then we kind of delayed a little bit so we could decide on what size would be best for Christmas time and then through the rest of the winter. So we finally decided on something, and it's not the original pattern that I shared with you. Originally we were going to do the pattern Callaway, but it had a lot of cables. I have made that pattern before, and I don't think the cables were difficult, but they're still cables, and I just know with my knitting time right now and just how much time I have to devote at a time, like I only have these little bitty chunks, I had a feeling that if I started a cabled sweater, I would get it going, and then as soon as I put it down, I wouldn't pick it up again because I'd have to get my mind kind of back into cable mode. And so I sent her another pattern and said, hey, is this one okay? Since I'm casting this on in September now, and I really want to make sure it's done for Christmas, I'd rather it be kind of an easier knit for me. Is this pattern okay? And she okayed the pattern, and that pattern is Lime Pop. So I've also made this pattern before, and I remember the stitch pattern being very, very simple. It's a super easy stitch repeat, but I think it's a really nice looking pattern for a boy. Obviously, girls could wear this as well, but sometimes it's a little hard to find something that just looks cute on boys, and I find that this pattern does. It really just has that kind of classic look to it. So that's what I cast on, and it has been a really pleasant knit. So I think I've only made one change so far. We did decide to go with the 12-month size, but I will be adding a little bit extra length in the cuffs and the hem. And the original pattern calls for just a straight rib on the neckband here, and then there was a 1-row buttonhole that you did, and then a little button, there would be a little button kind of on the side there. I did try knitting it that way, but after I did the buttonhole, I really did not like how it looked, and so I ended up ripping that out, and I decided to go in a different direction. So I did a couple of rows of rib, I did a purl row, you can see the bumps kind of going along there. I did a purl row, I did another couple of rows of rib, and then I turned that over and joined the cast on to this edge here. So it's kind of a fold over neckband, and I just thought that might look nicer because this is a gift. So my friend doesn't knit, and I'm pretty sure it's her nephew. So I don't know if it's her brother. I think it's her brother and sister-in-law. I think it's the family on her husband's side, but I'm pretty sure they don't knit either. So I just wanted this to kind of look really nice and finished, and you know, I just wanted it to look nice. So I thought a rolled hem would be nice, and then also it's quite stretchy, so I wouldn't need that button band. And then it just goes into this really simple kind of there's just like this little textured stitch. Now, unfortunately, the pattern is no longer available. You can't download it or purchase it anymore. But I will say, if you think that this, you know, you're attracted to this and you think this would be a nice pattern to make for someone in your life, the stitch pattern is super easy. It's a 4-row repeat, and you're basically doing 3 knit rows, and then that 4th row, you're doing knit 1, purl 1, and then you are making sure that the purl bumps line up. So they're not staggered on each of those 4th row repeats, they are lining up. So once you can basically follow any sweater pattern that you have that uses about a worsted weight. And then actually, if you're just doing the stitch pattern, it doesn't really matter what weight it is, but worsted weight goes by nice and fast. After you do the sleeve stitches and take it off, and the stitch count, you know, might change a little bit because now you're working in the round, you just have to make sure that those purl bumps are lining up, and then you're good to go. So it's a very, very simple pattern, and I think it has a really kind of nice classic effect. So I have finished the sleeves. Those are off on holders, and I'm working down the body. The only thing, so I'm also using the same yarn from the same brand that I did with Kira's sweater and that contrast yoke. This is also Die Hard Fiber Arts. This is in the color Abyss. I do remember that. But I've had to do a little bit of alternating skeins. I don't always do that, but I had 3 cakes of it. This is the one I started with, and then I had these 2 cakes. And this one was already caked up, so I was going to grab this one, but I don't know if you can even tell on the screen there that this just has, it's a very obvious difference in dye lot. So this one was skeined, but when I compared it to the one that I had started with, it seemed the most similar. So what I did when I wasn't, so obviously I didn't finish that first skein. Before I got to where I was taking the sleeves off, for a couple of rows I did some alternating because I figure I didn't want, again, because this is for someone who doesn't knit, I didn't want there to be a stark line, like a very obvious line with a color change. So I did a couple of rows, I alternated the 2 skeins so that when I went back to the sleeves and I was potentially using that second ball, there wasn't going to be a very obvious line. I think because of the texture pattern over here, that difference might be more camouflaged, but in the stockinette, if there was going to be a difference, I felt like it would be a very obvious difference. So yeah, I alternated skeins a bit here. I'm now using the second ball here. I might go back. I don't think there's enough here to do this. Well, obviously, okay, look at this. Don't be silly, Erin. There's not enough here to do both of the sleeves, but if I need to do some more alternating to bring that second skein in, I can do that. I'm really hoping that I don't have to bring in this third skein because I think this one, obviously, this is a very obvious difference in color. So yeah, hopefully I can get the rest of the sweater done with this. If I do have to bring in that third skein, I'm thinking of maybe using it for the hem and the cuffs. Hopefully that will work. I don't know. So basically that is where I am on that. That's a new project, so that's kind of exciting. And maybe if I keep working on that, I got to work on those socks though. But if I work on the socks and I feel pretty comfortable with my progress on those, and I know I can work on this, I might even have that done by the next episode. So I have one more project to share with you, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because you have been seeing this for over a year, here and there, sprinkled in. When I force myself to work on it, I am so close to finishing this. Oh my goodness. I do believe I made that a goal for this month, was to finish this sweater, and I might actually do it if I can just put my mind to it. But I worked on my Cumulus blouse, and look guys, look. I have a sleeve. Oh my goodness, I have a sleeve. I am so excited that I finished a sleeve, and then I have even made sure to pick up the stitches for the second sleeve. So I'm just a little bit in there. I'm only a couple of rows, but when I do work on this, it does go by quickly, and this sleeve really didn't take me that long. You can see that it's not like a full length sleeve. It's kind of maybe what they call that, bracelet length on me, and it is kind of a wider, more billowy sleeve, but I'm almost done. And I cannot wait to mark this off on my bingo card. So I don't think I really have much to say. I just wanted to show you that I finished the sleeve on that. When I finish it, I will go back into details about the pattern. If you're a newer viewer and you haven't seen that, everything's always on my pattern page. But yeah, I think that's all my knitting. But I just noticed that someone woke up, so I'm gonna go get her. Maybe she can say hi before I sign off. So here's the little peanut up from her nap. She's usually she is ready to go. She wants to go play. But yeah, here she is. I know she is looking at the screen there. Do you see the baby? Do you see the baby in the phone? But like I said, I think that's all I have to share with you this week. I hope you guys have a fabulous, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is until I get to talk to you next. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.